Gonna go ahead and get this thing cranked up, man. Try not to take up too much of your time and all that good stuff, man. But this is the BOTB live show. Yeah, what's going on, good people? Y'all know what time it is, man. We back for this midweek hookup, the Hump Day Happy Hour tap in. I'm Jay Walking the third. That's my brother Carolina Dirt. What's happening with you, bro?
Hey, shit, man. I'm happy it's Wednesday. It's the Hump Day Happy Hour tap in. I mean, we're closer to the weekend.
That's what we living for, man. Look, trying to clock out of these jobs sometimes and just have some peace of mind in these days. Um, this week is no different than any other week, man. We're gonna have a good conversation, man. Put y'all up on some game, man. We got a new family member to the pod, um, experienced educator, businessman, all around people person, veteran in this field of media and whatnot, Mr. Anthony TooFree Knight. What's going on this evening, brother?
What's going on? How y'all doing?
Hey, man, look, like you said,
Doing
man,
all right, sir.
doing all right, man. Better than a lot of people, man. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Hey, my voice, I got these polyps. That stuff.
Oh, that's that good pollen that you ain't built up yet. You
Yeah.
ain't, these good southern pine trees all up
Hey.
and through you, cuz.
Yeah.
Shit, my nose running now. Shit.
That's the one thing that I don't miss, man, out here in Michigan. But like I was saying before the show, hey, the Midwest full of shit. Not like specifically. I love people in the Midwest, man. I used to live in the Midwest before I was here this time for a long time, but it snowed today. You feel me? And that's just something that I'm not
Damn,
used to.
boy, you lucky.
It snowed today.
I'd rather snow than this damn pollen.
Man, look, but if you look at the Weather Channel right now, they talking about all kinds of tornadoes, F3, F4, F5
Yeah.
coming through the alley, man.
Yeah.
So it's just a different experience, man. But TooFree.
Shit, this heat wave about to hit us.
Yeah, well, I'm used to that. I
We
know
gotta get
about
with
it.
heat.
I can stay indoors for that. We got AC for things like that. But TooFree. We do these things called First Call, aka the six pack. It's 6 random questions. I got 3. My brother got 3. They don't amount to nothing. It's just like a heat check. Let people know a little bit about you without letting them know too much.
Okay, let it go.
Okay. As a Chicagoan, they always talk about deep dish pizza. We're not talking about that. What's the real authentic experience? What should somebody that is not from Chicago go enjoy in terms of food? Because I hear it's a great food city.
It's probably the best food city to me. You got everything. You got pizza. You got Italian Fiesta on the south side. You got Beggars if you want to go a little more commercial. The deep dish is more like, it made it famous, but it's not like most of your pizza spots is going to be like in the neighborhood.
Okay.
Neighborhood pizza. So you got, like I say, Italian Fiesta. You got Beggars. You can pull up on almost anybody and get a decent pizza. You got the hot dog, Italian beef, the gyros, Baba's Lemonade. You got a lot of little mom and pop stores that have been around. Of course, you got the old Harold's. You got on the west side, you got the barbecue. Yeah, you got a lot to pull up on food-wise. And then you got all your ethnic restaurants. So if you want Greek food, you go to Greek Town. You want some Italian food, you go to Little Italy. Like that. You know what I'm saying? You want Jewish food, you go to Jewtown. So you got from that do that.
What could Atlanta stand to learn from the Chicago food scene?
Oh man, it's a whole nother level. Atlanta, to me, they got some good restaurants, but it's far and few in between. And another thing I noticed, some of their better restaurants, they like another store. They're not a standalone restaurant. So you might parking, you might have an issue with getting in and out. Somebody else might be somewhere else. Most of your good restaurants are standalone. They got their own building, their own parking lot. You turn in there, you get what you got to get, and you get out of there. Your own, a good restaurant. But I think they would do that, being more consistent. Because you can get, let's say, Southern food, one restaurant, go to another one, it's like trash.
Right.
Big difference. And that's supposed to be your thing, Southern food.
Yeah. At the city of Atlanta, inside Atlanta, they want to claim a lot of stuff around Atlanta is Atlanta, but we know Metro Atlanta is kind of different than the suburbs. I feel like it's easier to find good food in the burbs around Atlanta than it is to find in Metro Atlanta.
Yeah.
What was my last question? This is just a food for thought question that I like to ask. Dead or alive, unrelated to you, who would you like to have a conversation with? Two people. You want to sit at the table with two empty chairs. Two people, dead or alive, that you would want to have a conversation. And what would that conversation be?
I talked to Minister Farrakhan. Minister Farrakhan, he alive, and probably somebody deceased. I got a lot of people I'm thinking of, but a good conversation. I think a good conversation may be like Red Fox.
That's a new entry.
He'd been through a lot. He was friends with Malcolm X, and he lived a good life.
I restarted The Godfather of Harlem today. So I'm with you on that. Red Fox is the first entry, man. That's dope. That's my 3. I'm going to let my brother get his 3 in.
All right. Growing up, what was your favorite clothing line? Like when you was a kid, you wanted that hot shirt or the starter jacket or some fresh British Knights. What was your favorite clothing line growing up?
I grew up, I wasn't into clothes, but I had clothes, whatever somebody can get, I was appreciative of. So basically, I really liked, what I used to wear a lot was, remember when Ice Cube them came out with them, wearing them Dickie suits?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
They were still cheap. The price didn't hike up. You can get a whole Dickie suit for like top and bottom for like $15, $20.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Jabot
you still all right with a nice little Dickie slack.
Hell.
You still all right with that.
Oh, yeah.
And Jabot.
But shit, you Walmart with $30.
Yeah, shit. And them the ill cuts.
Yeah.
Walmart Jones was the ill cuts, cuz.
They was the really workers Dickies. You really worked in them.
Them old Dickies used to be thick as hell too. You couldn't tear them up.
You couldn't do shit with them. You could get drugged by a car and iron them bitches the next day.
And they have a crease.
Yeah. No lie, bro. I got 3 pair of Dickie pants I done had for the last almost 10 years. I still wear them.
Them the originals.
Your favorite cartoon growing up?
I used to watch them Fat Albert.
Yeah.
Fat Albert and probably He-Man. A Thundercat.
Okay.
Yeah. I say my last one. Give me 3 things you do just to relax.
Be inside of a woman.
I know that shit right.
I was thinking that the other day, boy. A woman. I said, man, sit back, like watch my body, man, and watch a movie or watch a documentary. Sip something cold. It ain't got to be alcohol, just something cold. You know what I mean? Real cold.
I can dig that. What's the last documentary you watched?
Man, I watch them every day. Today I was watching about Guinea and how they divided up in 22 nations or 22 little subdivisions of Papua New Guinea. Before that, I watched a great documentary on HBO, which is Eyes on the Prize, Part 3. That's a really, really good one. It's up to date, so it's got great people that's still living on there.
I gotta catch that one. I gotta catch the new Eyes on the Prize joint. But that's first call, man. Like I said, it's just kind of like a heat check, let people know a little bit about you without giving them all whatever pertinent details that you don't want to give. I'm gonna start with, man, look, we live in a crazy time, man, and you said something that I think is important to a lot of black people with the way life is going right now. You're originally from Chi-Town, and you decided that you wanted to surround yourself with people that look like you. So you made your way down to the 8.
Black people, not look like me, black people.
Okay. Both. Just say that. We'll say that. Black folks. That's the one thing that I do appreciate about Detroit is it's a black city. It's black folks everywhere. You're not, uncomfortable. In this state of, politics being the way that they be in, certain ignorant type people are showing their ass in a way that we never seen before. But black people right now are, what's the way I want to say it? How do you feel about this hands-off approach to this quiet stillness that we have within the black community?
Man, I think we did our job. Black women showed up for Kamala. 90% of the people voted for her. 80-some% voted for black men vote. And the white folks said, man, this is what we want. This is what we're going to have. And those people who were not white, who voted the white adjacent, this is what they signed up for. So what can we do now? He doing everything he said he was going to do. The man had a playbook. The man said he was going to go after people he didn't like or who came at him. I mean, he ain't doing nothing he didn't say he was going to do before he ran. So, so for us, it's just to be prepared to understand we've been through worse. So he got 4 years. It ain't going to be the worst 4 years we ever had. And
well, he said he's not against, a third run now.
Yeah, but
yeah, there's 2 things in the Constitution that go against each other.
Well, I think that's his aim. Like, he's disrupted so much shit now that he can get these people to pretty much do a January 6th for anything he want them to do.
But you know what? I don't know if I got delay. But they also said some Al Sharpton said to them on the Breakfast Club. That didn't come up until those text messages came out. So it's almost like a diversion to get people off the text message shit. Because there's a lot of soldiers that spoke up. And there's clips of soldiers' wives speaking up about the whole text message. Like, you could have got my people killed by them text messages. So he does do a lot of diversion within him talking and tweeting and all that. So it's when it comes down to black vote, they was mad that we didn't vote. Then when we started voting and voting in our interest, they got mad at that. So when this came about, they're mad that we're sitting back, but the Latinos and Hispanics want us to speak up, and we're like, nah, y'all did what y'all did. The white farmers and white business people want us to speak up. Nah, y'all did what y'all did. The white poor people want us to speak up. Nah, y'all did what y'all did. But now they want the strength of the black community. But we've already been through this. Like you said, this ain't gonna be the worst 4 years. Like I say, no black farmers are speaking out because they wouldn't get no money from it anyway. There's other black business owners. They got their money, they got their product, they got their service through the way they were getting it anyway. So it's not hurting, but you're hearing more people non-black speaking up, and black people, we're just gonna sit back and relax and let shit happen. We already know we gotta have our guard up.
In a real way. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate we did the marches, we did the protests, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how the Target boycott is doing. You know, black women love them some Target. But I see, you know, they sales numbers are kind of they down. They not hurt by no means. Don't get it twisted. So I just like to, you know, I like to see what other people think about the quietness. You know what I'm saying? I think is like you said, we've seen the worst of it. The individuals that really support the president, they still on their bullshit. But I'm not really worried about them. By no means am I worried about them. I feel like it's a time for us to get closer to the people that we love and the people that support us. So that's why I bring that up. Now, you being an educator, what grade or grades do you normally teach, or did you used to teach?
So right now I've been teaching high school, 10th and 11th grade. I call it African mathematics.
Okay.
But it's geometry and advanced algebra. And yeah, it's going to be interesting how his legislation is going to come down on us, because I'm at a Title I school, and we got a lot of amenities that we use through government funding that may be cut out, so that might hurt us.
For the people that may run across this and don't know, what is a Title I school? What does that mean to be a Title I school?
You got broke, you broke shit. You're dealing with typically come from lower economic situations.
For sure.
They predominantly got the same economic situation, predominantly the same race, and it could be white. We're in Atlanta though, but if you go up to the North Atlanta area, North Georgia areas, Southern, Eastern Tennessee, Kentucky, you know, you got white schools as Title I.
Right, for sure.
So it's just predominantly one race, or typically one race, but that's not always. But predominantly, most of the kids there are low socioeconomic. Parents make, less than minimum wage.
Okay. Now
as you as an educator. Oh, you as an educator and teacher, do you and your colleagues, like, have y'all had conversations about how would y'all handle not having the funding and still being like a teacher?
Nah, but it's stuff coming down the pipe, because so like in my school, we got a grocery store, we got laundry services, we have clothes for kids in need. We help the community out with food and clothes. Kids can get, suits for interviews, ties, all this stuff. A lot of that stuff is funded through the federal government. And those will come down from the top. So those programs might be cut. Then sometimes, like, got tutorial programs that we might have. So typically what's going to happen is the state will fund it, but the state will use the money they get from the federal government. So if they get less money from the federal government, then that means they got to rearrange what they're doing. So yeah, you may have got a grant from the state for, let's say, $6 million, $7 million, whatever the millions of dollars is, $100,000 to run a tutorial program for math and language arts for a whole calendar year to take care of 2 or 3 schools. You're paying a teacher 2-3 hours 2 to 6 hours a week to stay after, maybe $30, $40 an hour. And you do that across the South. So you might do that. That might cost you $10,000, $20,000 a week. But you got that funding from the federal government. So now if that money's not there, what they're gonna do? A lot of school districts too, man, like those special need buses, they're expensive. The little short bus shorty, those buses are typically a little more expensive.
Yeah.
The federal government pay for those a lot of times. So it's gonna come down the pipe. And we just need to know, we don't really know how it's gonna hit because everybody gonna play out different.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We always try to speak on this kind of divide between the younger generation, these kids, and the older generation. You know what I'm saying? Everybody talks about YNs and YN this and YN that. I'm guilty of it too. You being in that setting, you know, dealing with them every day, man. What's the thing that people need to know about these kids in this generation that they probably don't know?
I think the kids are fortunately good, man. I don't think much deal with too many. You know, like they're young, they make bad decisions at times, but that's very rare compared to the decisions that they make. I think if older people take time to spend time with the young people, the young kids will listen. But at the same time, we're an older generation. They got mannerisms and acceptable things that they do that we think is unacceptable. So once you get through with, but you're not gonna change, like they're gonna cuss. We wouldn't cuss around. They cuss around adults. Like, you know, we growing up, you in the store, you stop cussing. If
Right.
you walking down the street, you go past a church, you don't cuss. You don't cuss in front of no church. In the car or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But these kids think different, they dress different, they move different. But once you accept that they are different, that they have differences, and you spend time with them, they'll listen to you. And a lot of times, I think we want them to do what they want. We're trying to tell them something, we want them to do it right away, and it don't always work that way. Sometimes you got to be a little patient. So, if I run up on the kid at the gas station, I may be able to talk to him, may not, depending on his mood, who raising him, who do. But you know what I'm saying? Ask him, can you talk to him for a minute? Ask him, can he turn his radio down? Sometimes, you know, most of the time they'll do it, but then sometimes they won't. They won't keep moving. You know, he don't want to hear what you got to say. But the kids, man, I think if we spend time with them, we'll see the results we want. And I think we try to blame people for a community problem. And I don't think it's, you know, of course, if you got good parents, that make a difference. But so what happens if you don't? You know what I mean?
Right.
You out here wilding out. Somebody still got to be able to pull you to the side and talk to you. And that's our responsibility to talk to them. And it ain't, I think a lot of times we got to quit being scared. Take a second, ask a person, can we say something to them? And if they listen, just drop that seed and let it go. Keep it moving. Hey, young blood, can you, man, you know, in the gas station, can you turn your radio down a little bit, man, please? Just, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to, you know what I mean? You ain't got to, you know, however you want to say it, but just ask them. Sometimes most listen, man. You know what I'm saying? All right, my bad. You know what I'm saying? You right. But then sometimes you get something that's like way out there. You just, you know, let them go. But the kids listen, man. I think we got to spend time with them.
You feel like it's the same with the generations that you left in the Chi versus in the A?
Yeah, they're the same. I think they're the same. It's a higher concentration of black children out down in Atlanta.
Right.
So that's even like a better situation to be in. Because the work that you do, you see immediately in your community.
Right.
Dealing with other kids, you know, live here, there, you know, the bigger the city, the bigger the community. But yeah, I think it has a bigger impact. But yeah, I think all the kids are about the same, man. If you take the time to say something to them, just make up in your mind, I'm not going to get mad at this person. I'm going to say something to them. And when I say something to him, my entry point is to come in a way that's respectful so that he know I'm not trying to be malicious. But then when I tell him what I got to say, I'm going to mean what I say. And it's to your benefit. And some kids listen, some kids don't. That's just how it's going to be. You can't get mad at the ones that don't. But a lot of times these kids be wilding out and ain't nobody checking them. And I think another thing too, man, like everybody's so busy now. I think when I was growing up, you always had people like, you always had grandmothers and mothers and fathers who may not been your mother and father, but they would take time out with you to make sure you got to practice, make sure you had something to eat, something to drink. They would talk to you for a minute. So you had to, you was respecting older people. Now a lot of older people working now, man, 2, 3 jobs, grandparents working, grandfathers working, you getting, how you getting to football practice? It ain't every day like it used to be, and you got to get a ride from here, a ride from there. So it's a lot of people are busy and not taking time with the children. So,
it's wild because when we came up, grandma had a very distinct look.
Mm-hmm.
And now, granny fine as hell now, cause granny fine in the motherfucker now. So I think we take for granted how much has changed. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing that the generation before us did. They like, this is the way we did it, and this is the way y'all should do it. And we had a little bit more flexibility, and now these kids have even more flexibility.
Yeah.
So I think that is definitely part of the disconnect.
They mind so busy too, man. They can't really focus on that. There's so much coming at them from, you on social media, you on your phone, you got computers, you got this, you got like, it's hard for kids. They got a real problem with focus. They got a lot of stolen focus going on, man. So that's another thing you up against. So many things going on at the same time. And then we asking kids to do things. For example, if you playing sports, you can't play 2 sports. If you 10, 11, 12 years old, you got to be on there. You got to do this, you got to do that. That's the way they feel. But, that's the pressure that's being put on. You got to be on this team, that team, and you got to play these many games, and you got to do this, you got to do that. But, man, you never really get a chance to just chill out and be a kid, So I think we're getting busy. We too busy. We need to slow down,
For real.
Do you think that some parents, especially now, that second job they doing it just to keep up with other people instead of spending time with their kids? Because some people get a second job just to have extra money to go out there and do stuff instead of spending time with their kids. Do you think that's a problem? Because back in the day, a lot of times the wife didn't work and the husband worked. The head of the household did all the hours. But now it's like both of them are working a lot. Are you working a lot because you need it, or are you working a lot because you want to go out there and still enjoy life and not spend time with your kids?
I think it's both, man. Shit's so expensive. Man, look, we had 6 kids at one point living with us. We had a $300. We spent about $200 a week in groceries. We required to feed. We still spending about the same amount of money in groceries, but the price changed. So we spent about one. But if you figure you're feeding 6 people with $200 a week, now you spend it feeding 3 people with $150. The prices went up. So it's so much, everything that went up, man. And it's like, even like a car, man, a fucking used car with 100,000 miles, they still want to try to get $10,000 for it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you always in this rat race to try to keep up, keep your head up. It's hard. Like, it's even hard just to have a 1-income family. You know what I'm saying? If you worked a 1-income family, that's a challenge. And I'm talking about just doing basic stuff. Because if the air conditioning go out or you need something done, which can happen, it don't move right. So, and then some people do that, but sure, stupidity ain't gonna never go away, bro. So people gonna do stupid stuff. But I think a majority of people try to do right. Harder to do right. It's like you don't pay your family.
That's real, man. I'm gonna go back a little bit, man. What types, or even if you do, what types of conversations do you have about social media imaging versus real life with these kids?
Man, I don't be on social media, so they be teaching me stuff. So like, I be so into it. Cause it's like, that's the only time I really get it is when I'm around them and they show me stuff. And like, I didn't know, like, So you remember Facebook? You can get kicked off Facebook.
Yeah.
And then, but they was like on what's the X?
Twitter, old Twitter.
Yeah, you can watch a murder on that damn nip.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, damn, they like regulate. No, sometimes they catch, sometimes they don't. I be like, so you can sit up here and watch all this stuff on this thing and nothing happens. Yeah. I'm like, dang. I never. So I be learning from them. And then I be so Patty LaBelle, man. I like to see what arguments and fights they be having on there. The little kids, man. They be because I really don't, like when I ain't around them, I'm not on social media. So that's all the social media I get really is with them. So I learn from them about different stuff. And you pick up stuff from them and yeah, they show you, man. But it's really all that stuff is designed at the end of the day, it's designed to steal your focus.
Right.
Good that it doesn't. You have to know what you're doing to do it the right way. Most children don't. And it's just stolen focus, just taking your attention on something. And it kind of, I tell them, like, it make you a zombie because you can't think.
Right.
You don't critically think about things. If you can't find the answer on the internet, then it ain't got no answer. And, you know,
one of the things that I've just run across with the, you know, the kids that I have in my proximity is it's weird that they involved in so much grown-up shit that they shouldn't be involved in, and they still a kid too. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes when you chastise them, they be like, "What you want from me? I'm just a kid." But you came in here with a half a pound of reefer too, though. You forget that?
Yeah.
It's just one of those dynamics, man. Like the duality of dealing with those kids and then knowing where we came from as a generation. Like how do you finagle that conversation about them doing those adult things and not being able to fall back on that kid shit? Because you know, Capitol Hill, they don't give a fuck about giving us no football numbers.
Right. So, you know, a lot of times, man, you know, kids are smart, man. They do that quick, especially in education. Like, I'm just a child. You ain't supposed to, he cussed me out. Nigga, you just said that, you call me everything but my name. And I said, shut your ass up. Now you want to go tell her, he called me. And you be like, man, get up out of here with that BS, man. But they know they child, so they know what they doing. They using it to their advantage. You know, kids is going, man, you just let them fall, bro. That's what you really do. You step back, you tell them, and you encourage them, and you give them you design an avenue for them to come to, but you just let them fall. You just step back and be like, okay, I see. You determined to do what you gonna do. Watch me get this ignore button on you. I'm about to hit you with the silent treatment and talk to you when I need to, and then they kind of getting their feelings then, like, oh, you know what I mean? But a lot of times, man, just let them fall down. Them ain't the ones you need to worry about, man. The ones that's trying to do right and want to listen when you talk and stuff like that. And you got a lot of kids that be doing wrong. If you spent a little time with them, 2 or 3 of them will listen to you, bro. Maybe you won't, but 2 or 3 will. And them the ones you focus on. Let the other ones fall, because they ain't ready to listen. Don't even waste your time. Like a waste of time, bro. That's a waste of time.
Yeah. We definitely had those types of people in our generation as well. You know what I'm saying? You had your good kids, you had your borderline kids, and then you had them be like, bro, I know you was going to the cemetery or the penitentiary. Them, you know, them the only two. How is it dealing like with these new rules about, you know, preferred names and the way you talk to kids? Like, do you feel like the administrations have your backs when dealing with some of these situations and some of these kids?
Nah, you try to stay out that room. You try to stay out. So I never had a transgender kid, but I've dealt with flaming kids, all type of gay kids, some that you know gay, some that's flaming. And Nah, when it comes to administration, if they tell you their name is Leroy, and that motherfucker got a D cup, and that's Leroy. They tell you their name Sabrina, and this joker here got an Adam's apple, that joker named Sabrina.
For sure.
I'm getting all that, man, because you ain't gonna win that battle, man, because, well, in Georgia, they changed it up now. One thing Georgia did do was whatever your birth certificate say, that's what they gonna put on that paperwork. You don't give a fuck what you want to call yourself. And you go into the bathroom, that was signing you at birth. That's what they always say. When I was in Illinois, man, it was getting to that point where they were doing this more liberal. And you just call the person by their name, man. And at the end of the day, man, what I learned, people, man. And if a person willing to take what you give them, then I give it. If they don't want it, I don't give it. So that don't matter, you know, what their situation is. You know what I'm saying? If you can respect me, I can respect you. You know what I'm saying? It's really none of my business. I also like too, man, with teaching, man, people come to their conclusion about who they are as their identity from a lot of different angles, man. Some people born like that. Some people, I'm like, dang. Some people done had a trauma. Bigger, I don't know why. So this is my closest friend. This is what they is. That's what I am. A lot of ways, this that I learned. So I just kind of let it, you know what I'm saying? And then I also know too, man, like, I don't keep it personal, right? I'm not trying to be your best friend, your uncle. I'm here to deliver a lesson, give you the information I got to give you, share what I can with you, and then I'm pushing. But I ain't trying to get close to you either. So I got a job to do at the end of the day. Whatever you want to call yourself and however you want to identify, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? But if you can respect me, I can respect you back.
In a real way.
Yeah.
In a real way.
How do you figure, like, growing up, we had more structure than we had allowing to have outbursts and emotional feelings. So these kids today, how do you balance the structure with I'm not gonna call it the Me Too movement, but acknowledging their feelings?
Man, I'm like Bernie Mac, punk ass pants. Man, I man, you get shit that man. I don't oh my goodness, man. Fuck about this shit, man. On the real, man, I'm like Bernie Mac, man. Some shit ain't got to change because I'm fucking telling you to change. If you come here cutting the food, get your ass out. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I ain't that shit. And I don't give a fuck who you go tell. As long as you tell them that you were here cutting the food and then they want you come back, then let them motherfuckers teach your ass. I ain't dealing with this shit. You can't be you can't be like, you gotta believe what you believe in, man. So I'm trying to give you the best of me, the best I got to offer. And you can't respect that, bro, you need to get on away from me, bro. You know what I'm saying? So all that shit, man, you know, some shit, man, I just dealt with situations, man, where, you know, motherfucker found that their grandma had cancer or these like real life shit. Man, girl come to school, find her grandma got cancer. You know what I'm saying? So she emotional, I get that. Or another kid, man, his house caught the fire, man, you ain't know it. His dad left. And like, so that's a situation. But if you a fucking drama queen, man, get the fuck out here with that bullshit. I don't care if you're a man. And a lot of these boys too, man, you be telling them, man, like, you get all emotional, man, when you can do something about it. Like, you get emotional, but you actually got control of the situation. So what is you getting emotional about? Handle the situation. But a lot of time, man, they don't know how to conduct themselves as a man. When I say a man, what I mean by that is like, to be emotional is one thing, but to think through and make a logical decision still got to be made. And I think when you around, when you come to conclusions with logical decisions different than men, and we got different energies around that, and we communicate those things differently. So, you know, a boy coming to me talking about this, that, man, get your ass out of that. Man, I ain't that, bro. So they know I can pull out on somebody. And a lot of times that should be a hustle, man. They trying to avoid something, or they trying to get into a situation. You know, they trying to do something, they trying to hustle you, bro. But man, I ain't going for that shit there, man. Then your
That's
ass.
that's what I mean about the administration. So as far as the way you conduct yourself, you pretty much try to handle everything within your territory, which is your class
Yeah,
or whatever you got governed.
yeah,
And because you are yourself every day, you can kind of self-contain it.
yes. If that shit get,
Okay.
do what we say. If motherfuckers with college shirt style talking to you, your ass in trouble. If motherfuckers
Yeah.
college shirt style talking to you, and then you got more than one, you in some trouble. So you try to keep them out your business. And it's just like really, they don't want to be in your business either, because it's like they got a plate full of shit too. So if you get in that and they on their plate, they really trying to discard. They don't really want to deal with you either. So they rather just push you over here and do whatever they got to do so they can keep moving. But yeah, and I think I've been teaching a while, like 20-some years now, so you can command your classroom and you set the tempo of how it's gonna be. And you set the atmosphere up and you just kind of manage that situation. You're not really controlling it, you managing the expectation that you already set, right?
Right, for sure. I kind of go back and forth, man, like because to me, again, we in the same age group. We came up under way stricter, you know what I'm saying, lifestyles, you know what I'm saying? Um, but I feel like these kids have so much access to information that they be trying to mind fuck you. You feel me?
Yeah, yeah.
And I just always hear my mama saying like, "Oh, you think you smarter than me?"
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how I feel, when I talk to some of these young kids, because if they doing what they want to do, everything is everything. The minute you ask them to do anything, it can be minor. It don't have to be nothing, and it blows up into some other shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to be able to speak to these kids sometimes, man. But I think that's probably where I'm falling off. You got to be able to pick and choose your battles with them.
And sometimes I can get to you from another angle, right? So if I know who in your group and I'm cool with one of them, I can holler at them and have them good, and they'll be like, "Oh man, he cool, man." You know what I'm saying? So I'm playing the mind game too, like, "Oh, this little boy here, okay." But I'm cool with what's his name, I could be cool with your brother and have a problem. You can have a problem with me. But if your brother be like, "Nah, man, he ain't like that. He cool," you're gonna let your guard down a little bit. And I'm already knowing I'm working that angle, so he could tell you that one day. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like when you in this situation, at some point you're gonna command somebody to do something they don't want to do, because
Right.
that's what bigger is. That's what getting better is all about. Like, just like, I don't give a fuck who it is. Ali didn't want to run all them goddamn miles and do all that shit, but he wanted to be a champion. Like, that's the price you got to pay. And at some point you're gonna want to be good at something, and that's the case. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to be patient with them too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because in high school, I ain't got to argue with you. I just give you an F, because you need this class to graduate.
Right.
Or you gonna come back, or you gonna retake it. So that's on you. I ain't about to fight with you either. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want it, you don't want it. But really, the only way you really should be, and a lot of times, man, you really should.
You have to.
Yeah, I'm go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your statement. You good? I must got a delay. Go ahead. You good?
No, I was saying a lot of times, man, if you set your environment up right, a lot of that stuff don't even happen, man. It don't be thought processes. Or they do happen. So you want the energy. So when the kid act up, you want the energy of the class to look at him like, "What is you doing?" Like, I want you to leave, and I'm your classmate. So if that's the environment you set up, that bullshit ain't really allowed like that. You know what I'm saying? Because we all trying to get something together. Yeah, trying to get it together.
Do you think they understand the power of education and the power of learning? Because technically, it almost be two different things.
Yeah, I think they do. Man, kids do what the fuck you tell them to do. Just pump people. Most adults do. Kids do what they told. To figure out I can do stuff on my own. So when the kids start to rebel, that's usually meaning that I can govern myself.
Right.
But typically a kid do what they told. And if a kid don't do what they told, they probably weren't raised in an environment where they was being told to do something. So now you trying to tell a kid to do something, and who the fuck is you? My mama don't do that. My daddy don't do that. But then you got strategy for that too. That ain't nothing, but you knew that was gonna happen before you start the job. So you gotta have a plan and pack for that, right? So then you get comedy in there, you can say something slick. You know what I'm saying? You can say something slick to the kid. You could be you can pontificate him, make his mad, stimulate, it's all kind of stuff. But kids, man, 99% of the time, kids in your classroom want to do what you told. Now in the hallway, you're gonna have a different situation. But in your class, they ought to do what they told. And they typically don't have a problem with that.
Wipe your feet on my rug.
Say it again. A lot of times,
I was thinking Goody Mob, wipe your feet on my rug.
Yeah, bro, kids got a lot of punk ass adults. So you ain't standing on your word. You allowed that kid to do something to you. All you got is one tool in your toolbox to deal with that. So if a kid yell at me, right? Man, fuck you, motherfucker. Okay. I may combat you now, may wait a day or two. Because I know it's gonna come back around. And I may say something close to you in your ear, slick to you back. Don't nobody know what I said but me and you, and it's on tape. What'd you say to Mr. Knight? I can't really remember.
Say
that.
Like that.
And you ain't always get them that same. You got to have a bunch of.
Hey.
Yeah. You got different strategies to deal with them because you already know.
Did you see that video clip?
What happened? What video?
There's a video. It's a teacher and a student getting into it, and they going back and forth. And the teacher, male teacher, told the girl to go get your daddy. She said, "My daddy dead." He said, "Well, dig him up then."
See, that's what I mean. That's a punk ass adult, man. Why you gonna say that about that girl daddy? He in a pie trip, right? I'm in charge. Hey, that's what I'm arguing with you. What I say, go.
Period.
See that? Wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna keep arguing with you, bro. I said what I said. I meant what I said. Now you're gonna acquiesce. If you acquiesce at this moment, just wait a minute. It's gonna come down to it, and I'm gonna make it so it come to a head. But that dude was. If you argue with a kid, think about what adult argue with a kid. If your mama, you did it, I got your goddamn head bust open. It wasn't no goddamn back and forth. I'll do it now. I clean the room. Oh my, can I do? Bah. You get your ass whooped. It ain't, but same thing. So you can't whoop the kids, and you can't respond immediately to things. But I'm not about to go in no power struggle. You know what I'm saying? I step out in the hallway, man, and call a motherfucker come get you. Now you sitting there by yourself looking like a fool, tearing the goddamn classroom up. Give me a motherfucking lollipop while you look like a goddamn fool. I
know that's right.
Put camera on your motherfucking ass. Shit, I get my phone and put on you. Look at this motherfucker, man. I won't say a goddamn word. But typically that don't happen, man. That's very rare. A lot of times them people got mental issues. Away from them. But yeah, man, I had one kid, man. I just put the camera on him, man. Look at dancing off the wall, man. Ain't nobody saying shit. And I know one thing, when that camera don't say shit, because they can't quote silence.
For sure.
Like the fool when I'm sitting right here quiet, and now your mama watching you do this shit. And now I can get on your mama in front of you. Mama, you accept this behavior? This is what you raising? This is what you sent to school? I'm a mama. And now you feeling even more like stupid. And your mama got to answer these questions. And then mamas really get mad at dad. Hey, man, don't act like that now. He thought this shit was acceptable before he got here because of the way you did to him. Well, man, you know what I'm saying? Now they hot at you. And but yeah, man, you ain't supposed to argue no kids. Nah.
But
I
let me ask you this: what do you see? What's the difference? What's the difference between, in your opinion, a single parent home, a double parent home, and a child that's raised by the village as far as aunts, uncles, and grandparents? Is there a big difference in those kids?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell, when you, that's the way you could be raised, mother and father, is within the family. So that's one of the first questions you ask in the beginning of the year. Who raised you? Now who your mom and dad is, who raising you? Who a part of your upbringing, right? And you ask them, who corrects your behavior? Your grandmama, your auntie? Because even though you're from a single mom, you're supposed to have an auntie, an uncle, a grandma. Somebody's supposed to be helping. You ain't supposed to be raised, but you're supposed to be raised in a family. So who is your family? Okay, if you got a family, then I already know it's gonna be a little easier on me. You know what I'm saying? Because I got somebody you understand. Okay, if you're raised by your mother and father, then you understand I got a good chance of getting to this kid and getting some progress out of him, seeing some growth. The harder kid to teach is the one that's raised by a woman alone and or don't have a family structure. Because especially in high school, boys buck their mama.
For sure.
And he think he the bull. And if ain't no man in the house to tell him he ain't, he running around there, thinking he the bull. A bull got to know, motherfucker, you ain't the bull in my house. You know what I'm saying? And my homeboy told this motherfucking son, don't even piss in my house. Ain't but one person pulling their dick out in here, and it's going to be me. You got to piss man. But he meant that shit in a way, but he was joking, but he meant it like, nigga, you better stay in your place. Ain't but one.
I mean, I feel like that's so real, man, in terms of we have, and it's a conversation to go along with on the pivot. They had what's my man name?
Ryan.
Captain America.
Oh yeah, Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Mackie and Ryan and them from the Pivot podcast. There was this, kind of discussion that was going on about him saying that he raised real men and how masculinity is kind of being assassinated right now. And I still know masculine men. I still know men that, and when I say masculine, I don't mean beat on your chest like a caveman. I'm just talking about upstanding, grown ass man, go to work, take care of his family, have respect for people in the streets, you know what I'm saying, and care about his environment and the people around him. Do you feel like, we know it's an agenda, but do you feel like masculinity is under attack?
I don't because I feel like I'm gonna stand on mine. What another motherfucker do, I ain't really concerned about that. So what I mean by that is, I'm not gonna be riding in them tight ass jeans, sash thing. If that's what you want to do, go ahead. You got an audience to follow you. But I ain't about to do that shit. I don't give a fuck what you do. You know what I'm saying? Some shit ain't gonna be in style with me, and I'm cool with that. And I feel like masculinity is like you said, man. I'm a whole human being. I got goals, visions, desires. I got fears, anxieties. I got everything. I can feel all the emotions that every human feels. But at the end of the day, I got to provide and be a rock and be the standard for my family. So I think a man sets the tone for honor in his family. So typically, what is going to be honorable to our family? That's the man's responsibility to set that tone. Also, I think, so if your family going to honor your last name, what's that mean? That's the man's responsibility to establish that. And then this woman supports that, and then she raised that environment, right? So honor is established by the man. If you honoring shit as a man, thinking as a man, which means a lot of time like this, it might be 5 decisions and all of them right. I'm doing this. And my mind's stuck on it. I'm not about to be wavering, thinking, overthinking, none of that shit. No, we doing this. You know what I'm saying? We moving to Atlanta. From Chicago, that's it. I ain't no more back and forth about that. Coming out, you ain't. But typically you want to have your people on your page. But like, I think if you who you is, why it matter what another motherfucker is? And because I think what's happening is being gay and transsexual is growing in popularity. And I think that popularity, we think is a growth, is lesser than us. If you rock as a man, then you got to be respected as that, which means you got to be able to make a decision. You got to have a vision for your family and build and work towards that vision, right? Well, I can't just get a woman to have kids. I got to give her a vision so that she can have something to work towards. And we work towards that. So the man is the visionary, the woman's the missionary. Missionary typically day-to-day work. You know what I'm saying? Week work. But my family's going to do this, and I honor set by that. And so, now I don't think nobody going to get in that. And I think I'm too concerned about mine to be worried about what somebody else doing. And them coming in my space, you know what I'm saying? Even if you come in my space, you're going to talk to me the way I would expect to be talked to, or otherwise we ain't got to talk. That go for my mother, my brother, my friend, my neighbor. I don't give a fuck who you is. It's a certain way I expect to be treated. And that's what I want you to respect. If you can't do that because you something else, then that's on you.
That's real, man. That's real, man. Look, we normally do this thing for about an hour, man. This hour went by real quick. You gave us a lot of information and a lot to kind of digest in terms of, like I say, bridging that gap between the young generation and the older generation. I know you got tons more shit to talk about, man, and I definitely love to have you come back and talk more on this subject and definitely other subjects that come up, man. Because we didn't get a chance to talk about your podcast, the Let's Get Deep podcast, man. If you want to run that down for us and provide your socials and everything and how people can get in touch with you, go for it.
Man, look, I don't got no I got a social. All I got a Facebook account, but I don't know how to get in there. I just go to Marketplace. So I don't know nothing about nothing as far as that concerned.
Well, you acting like an old nigga for real.
Yeah, I'm beyond that. I got
like an old nigga for real. Hey, get you this thing called the internet.
Yeah, I don't. Then Let's Get Deep I faded back from that, but my cousin still do it. It's on a Facebook page, but I think it's private. But I think we had a health issue. I pulled back, but my cousin also do another show called The Den. And we do it at the Uptown Comedy Club on Virginia Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia. So check him out, The Den. They talk about college sports, high school sports in the area. Also, the comedy club does other things. They do Klassic Konversation, spelled with a K, both letters. They do I forgot that. What's the comedian from Friday name, man? From Friday.
Mike Epps.
Not Mike Epps, the old dude played his daddy.
John Witherspoon.
No, that was cute.
Oh, Don, DC.
Yeah, podcast on there too. So Uptown be doing that. And social media, I really don't be on. So if they want to get to contact me, tell them to contact you. Cause I don't have no what you call that? I don't got TikTok or none of that. I got a Facebook account, but I don't know my information. And then I got Isaac Hayes little thing, man. You remember Isaac Hayes?
Fan base.
I'm TooFree on Facebook.
Yeah, fan base.
Yeah. I think I logged in there about 3-4 months ago. Ain't been on there since.
Well, we definitely want to have you back when you have time, man. Like I said, just to further the conversation and add some new conversations, man. We always say the greatest commodity ain't your money, it ain't your jewels, it's your time, man. It's the one thing that you can't get back. You feel me? So we thank you for spending some time, gracing us with your knowledge and your presence. What you got for him, Caroline, on the way out?
No, that time thing. I think that was the hot topic word that he said through his whole show was like time. Like get his kids time, spend time with his kids, spend time with yourself, spend time with your loved ones. I think I heard him say the word time like 15, 16 times. So yeah, time is very, very, very important this day and age. If it ain't the political government out to get you, it's damn Mother Nature out to get you. If it ain't Mother Nature out to get you, it's the Lord maybe calling you home. So time is so important. And as he said earlier, don't waste your time on stuff that you have no control. It's hard to do this day and age. It's easy to clap back. It's hard to pull back. So
I thought you were
if
going
you
to say
can pull back, because that might save you out of jail, might save you out the grave, might save you from.
It's hard to pull out too.
I can't encourage people to leave it in. Yeah, pull out too. I can't encourage them to leave it in. But yeah, and I appreciate you coming. We're gonna hit you on your rotary phone for you to come back on our show.
all right. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely, man. This is Mr. Anthony TooFree Knight, man. Thank you for what you do, and thank you for your time again, man. Look, I'm Jay Walker III. That's Carolina Dirt, man. This is the BOTB Live Show, and until the next time, man, love the people who love you back, man. Y'all be easy.
All right.
Keep going.
Yeah.